People, look, it just so happens that Konami have graced us with an absolutely colossal ban list. So this is going to be a lovely little TYS special. We actually recorded an episode and then, you know how things happen. Konami said, you know what, we're definitely going to release the ban list to make the episode moot. So yeah, let's get into that spice that happened. Well, to be fair, we're going to talk about the ban list, but just a quick thing on a YCS Houston. That was a pretty interesting YCS to win. I mean, Memento somehow managed to take it all the way. What do you think about that, guys?
Yeah, I think he played out of his skin absolutely all day. I watched, I think, the last few games on the run up to the final, and the fact that he just let his opponent combo off and then just proceeded to just break fields like he was just like a knife through butter. It was crazy. It was really good to watch.
Bro was only playing free imperm in the main. That was it. He had no fear of the whole Rizal. He was like, do what you want. I don't care. Have your entire Rizal board and everything. It's like, I'm violating your board before you.
I love that. I love Memento. I mean, I don't play the deck, but I love the fact that it's a deck that you have to play so much engine. And it's kind of just like that win in the YCS is just a bit of a spit in the face to like your 15 one-card starters, 18 hand traps. It's like, yeah, do what you want in it. I'm just going to build and build and build and build and build. And Pascal was absolutely... I don't know how many people listening watched the final, but it was a decimation, man. That guy wanted to see the ban list in it. He was not messing around.
Yeah. Both the final and the game Pascal played before that were just washes. Like, it wasn't even... I think they were both... Were they both 2-0s? Like, I believe, was it... Yeah, it was both Swift 2-0s. Like, he just destroyed his opponent. And it's like, they didn't even have a chance to really play.
I think what impressed me the most as well was his match against Labyrinth, because Labyrinth player was on a tear and literally set up and he just chewed through the board. And I think for me, what got me excited, because I was even in the chat just putting like emojis when Doug Charger made appearance. I was like, nah. He's eating materials off of those Rizal monsters. I was like, yeah, this is solid. It was solid. It was good to watch.
Definitely. Yeah, very, very good to watch. Yeah, it was nice, and it was a nice change as well, because I was fully expecting to just see like a Rizal Mirror or Malice versus Rizal final, and then it's like, oh, Memento's still there. Okay, so yeah, definitely was lovely to see. But yeah, congrats to Pascal. Congrats to Pascal for winning. Great job. But then yes, so. After that amazing run by Pascal, we had a lovely ban list by Jerome. So I'm going to get that up for you guys so we can discuss what happened. And what I will say is kudos to Konami, because compared to how they have handled the ban list in the past, I do see that they are trying very hard to kind of make a change and make it a better system for us. Like, it is much nicer to just have ban lists that come out like when they should come out, instead of we wait ages, we don't know when the ban list is coming out, they maybe tell us, they maybe don't, and all of that. It's just very annoying. So kudos Konami, because yeah, like I was very, very happy to see the ban list come out at the end of Houston. The only thing I still will say is you don't need to like waste time and like tell us like the week before and shit. Like, just set a day. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
messed up.
Right? So I think it was one of those things where it was like everyone kind of knew it was coming, but they could have just said in it.
Exactly. Change. So firstly, obviously, I think the Unlimits we don't need to talk about that much. They had Saboteur, the Dangers, Ava, and Monkey Board. None of these are really relevant. Like, yeah, I think the Dangers have like a tiny bit of synergy with Malice because of like making what's that card called? Cherubini. But outside of that, there's like nothing here in the Unlimits, so I think we can skip past that and we can move on to the semi-limits, which was quite insane. Konami just, I don't know, they're really going the OCG route, it seems. So firstly, we had Black Dragon and White Dragon went from 1 to 2, which I think is pretty huge. We had all of the Rizal names here. I'm pretty sure it was all of the Rizal. I've only seen 2 here. I thought it was all of the Rizal names.
Yeah,
all the starters got hit down to 2. Dormouse and White Rabbit got hit down to 2 as well. Morphing Jar, Snake Eye Ash, and Poplar for some reason. That was the most random shit ever. And then Unchained Soul of Sharvara and the Malice Field Spell as well, down to 2. So what do we think about these?
I think... Oh, go on then.
I think the baby dragons is something people are sleeping on. These are cards like, I don't know if you guys remember, and then I know I'm going to sound like a bit of a boo when I talk about this, but if you guys remember what these cards enabled in a deck like Thunder Dragon, where like Malice capitalised off the banishing and stuff, it really was just that extension, because these guys are just bodies that just replace themselves. And I'm interested to see if Malice does actually do anything with them, or if it ends up just being one of those hits that doesn't really matter. But these are cool cards. Maybe we'll see Seals in Malice. Probably not, but you never know.
I don't think Malice will play these, because even though they are kind of an interesting replacement for Bestials, I think the cyber stuff coming out is just cracked. Like the stuff in Alliance Insight is mad, and I think it's hard to justify playing needs of those. But I do agree that other decks like Thunder Dragon and stuff are really gonna like these. And one nice thing is, before you would like summon your black, summon your white, and then white's not going to do anything. Now you summon your black, summon your white, and your white's going to search a card for next turn, which is quite nice. So I think that part is really, really nice about black and white Dragon come to 2, and I don't think it's a problem. When cards like a Palooza don't exist in the game, I care less about like infinite link material and stuff like that. It's like whatever you make is getting nipped, so I'm not that upset about it. But then Rizal, so the Rizal hits, I think the Rizal hits were interesting. So what's you guys' takes on the Rizal hits?
Was it enough? I don't know. I can see what Konami are doing, but I feel like with the support, it kind of like, for every action there's a reaction, and that was my feeling when I seen all the monsters go to 2, because I feel like when the new Yugioh comes out, it's kind of I wouldn't say mend some of the problems, but it's gonna alleviate some of the issues the deck has, especially with being able to set any of the Yugioh spells or traps, and I think that's a really big boon for Yugioh specifically, especially if the Dual Drive gets interacted with. And you've still got that as an extender in hand. So yes, the consistency's gone, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think the deck's dead by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all. I feel like they hit this in the wrong way, but also the right way, in the sense that I think you probably could have just got away with like just putting X to 1, like with the bonfire hit as well, spoilers. Like, I think X is like one of the most powerful cards, and like probably like a semi-limit and ice. I feel like that would have had like the same amount of impact. But now it's weird, because I was having this conversation with someone today, where on the surface it looks like our Rizal has really been hitting consistency, and then you think about 7th Tachyon, and then you think about 7th Ascension, which is actually 7th Tachyon. Rizal have gone from 15 starters to 15 starters that loses harder to draw. But I don't hate this hit at all. I think it seems like they're following the path of the OCG in terms of like how they're using the semi-limited list, which is nice, which is interesting. Like I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely. And then I think an interesting thing about these hits as well is when you look at Rizal as a deck, the way it's been played, it's almost like it had too many cards in a way, where it's like you're usually shoving it. The best variants of Rizal have mostly been when you combine it with other decks. Like there's been this brief period where Pure seems kind of good, but most of the time you're shoving in a 7th package to do nonsense with. You're shoving in Fiendsmith to do nonsense with, and so yeah, as you say, when you hit all of these names down to 2, it for me it just feels like nothing really changes with this. Like I still see Rizal as the same deck. It's just okay, yeah, they're slightly less likely to open the actual card. So 5 draw was great. But yeah, I don't know if I'm super happy about it personally. Like I don't think these hits have hurt Rizal that much, and I would have been very happy with X to 1 or 0. Like I think that card's fantastic, and the field spell I think is so good, and especially with that new Star Rizal coming out, I think it needs to be touched. But the Malice hits as well. Like this is interesting because I look at Malice and I'm just scared for the future.
Yep.
I look at Malice and I'm like, Malice got these 2 down to 2. They got field spell down to 2. I'm like, so what the heck? I just want to point out, by the way, guys, Malice could have played Silent Mining before. They just didn't. They just didn't really need to. And so it's interesting to see that, yeah, Malice has been hit, but I know a lot of people have been complaining on Facebook that Malice has got hit harder than Rizal. But man, it's like, yeah, it should have, because the deck was in my opinion, better than Rise a lot of the time, and then it was only going to get even better than that. So even with these hits, I think that deck is about to go absolutely bonkers, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. And I wouldn't say I've done any extensive testing, but I've done a little bit. And I'll be honest, even without the new stuff, the deck still kind of gets to do what it wants to do. And
yeah,
I feel like Konami took the approach where, all right, Malice, we know you've been misbehaving, but I'm still gonna let you go outside and play. Like,
yeah.
they're aware of their behavior, but they're still doing stuff to kind of like support it and just say like, all right, you can still go and have a little bit of fun. Because when the new cards come out, even from what I've seen, because I've been paying attention to the OCG, which I'll mention obviously on the next sort of limited cards. This Malice is still doing its thing. Like, it's not doing any less Malice thing. So
just for context. Sorry, carry on. Actually,
no, we'll talk about these cards that you pulled up here, just for anyone who doesn't know what Malice does in a couple of months.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
a lot of things.
So what's the last one? I can't remember what the name of the last one. Anyway, even just looking at these two, I piss off. Hey, what the heck kind of corruption is this? Actually, cake. All right. The reason why Malice is getting broken, in case people don't know, is firstly this card, back up at Ignista, which says if you control a Cyber monster special from the extra deck, you can summon this from your hand. When you search it, add one Dark Cyber monster from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. Now, this is good. This is amazing because this searches any Malice. So let's say you normal summon Malice and then the Malice gets stopped. This is crazy. But even if you don't, this is still full combo by itself because of the second card that I was trying to find the name of. And it's another Ignista. Which
was it Wizard?
Lovely, thank you, yes. Wizard at Ignista. So what the Malice player can do, for example, is you add the Malice to hand, you discard it, and then this one goes, hey, Malice in graveyard, I'm going to special that card out of my graveyard. It's not going to be negated. Yeah, I'm locked into Cyrus monsters, but I've got 3 link materials on the board already off 1.5 cards. So there's these 2 cards which are crazy. And then, just when you thought these were the crazy cards, there's this card. Now, I love Ignista, by the way. This card says, reveal a dark Cyberse in your hand, special summon it for free, then add another one from your deck to your hand. That's what this card says. This card is flipping broken. So, Malice just got like 12 extra starters, because all of the Ignista cards search these, by the way, but I don't even know why would you waste your time playing shit cards when you can just play these? You don't need to play other cards other than these Ignistas. Malice got way better for no reason. So when we talk about the new Malice cards, in case you don't know, these are the cards we're talking about. These 3 cards are all absolutely crazy. Like, this is how crazy these cards are. Which, the backup is so crazy that I don't even think they're going to play this card. And this card is crazy. That's how crazy these cards are. So anyway, yeah, this is what we're talking about, guys. Malice is absolutely crap.
Yeah, Malice is going to be fine, I think. There's just going to be some pretty funky variants running around until that comes out.
I think it's interesting because we're going to see 2 different types. So to be fair, actually, I do think you have a point, Dan, where there's probably going to be one Banish Dragon focused one, and then there's going to be a Cyberse focused one, because the one slight corollary to these is that these lock you into Cyberse stuff. The Dragon stuff don't. But there's another hit that makes me think the Cyberse version will be probably a little bit more popular, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Then Morphing Jar, no one in the world. Oh, sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, sorry, Morphing Jar is just whatever. I think the Snake Eye things are interesting. Now, the reason I say this is because I don't know what it is, but somebody in the OCG is doing certain things with Yummy and Snake Eye stuff. And I don't know. I've seen a list somewhere, but it's not been optimized. Yeah. But the new Yummy cards are kind of like trying to make a claim for themselves, and I don't know whose video I watched, but they were saying in the OCG no one's broken it yet, quote unquote, so they're not sure of what the best build is. And I know that Popular had something to do with it, I don't know, but it's just worth noting that they're back at 2 now. The Link ones, they're 1-star monsters that can just do whatever the Yummy cards want them to do, basically. So it's worth kind of like keeping an eye.
The Snake Eyes all level 1, similar to the Yummies as well, so that's a good point.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're going to get a lot of advantage from. So okay, I guess then that might be it, because I can't lie, they could have brought these cards to 50, and I don't think anyone cares. They're not doing anything, bro. Without original, I'm not really that scared of Snake Eye. Like, it loses a lot of strength.
I think bringing back the Snake Eye cards in conjunction with hitting Bonfire is so weird because, like, you can be like, oh, I've got 2 Poplar, but now unless you play some sort of rank 4 package, it just seems worse, if anything.
100%.
But I think Snake Eyes is like a super interesting deck without OSS. I think there's been a lot of different builds people have done with it, with like the more lore-focused builds, like with White Forest, and I know there are people who are just trying to make it work in the consensus of like just like a big sort of like extension push pile. I think Snake Eye have a lot of really interesting cards, like the Doom Dragon we've seen playing like in Fiendsmith as well. But yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything without OSS, which is kind of insane when you think about even like what 4 or 5 months ago these cards were striking fear into everyone. It just shows you how powerful like having 7 starters extra in your deck really is.
I think the big thing as well is that when you look at the quality of Wanted, like I think Wanted is a fairly balanced engine without OSS, but it's having those starters in a very high quality package where it's like your Wanted is going to get you any Snake Eye from the deck, and then on top of that, it's going to get you a draw on for that. It's just crazy. But I agree with you guys. This doing nothing. Maybe Yummy will enjoy it, but it's doing nothing. Unchained as well. I think it's quite nice. They got Shavara back to 2. This as well. I think it probably could go to 3. Like Shavara is a little bit of an annoying card to deal with, but I think it's fairly fair for the Unchained deck. Like I actually like even that restriction where it locks you into Fiends while it's on the board. So I actually think this card is fine. Like I know what you guys think, but
I agree. Good. I just people are talking about Yubao, but they're saying Yubao could be a sleeper pick, but Yubao just loses to the Mochamis. That's why people really start playing it. It's not because of Shifter or anything like that. It's just the Mochamis literally cripple the deck.
You know every single Mochami.
If
you play Mochami against Yubao, whether it's the grave one, the extra deck one, or the hand one, you're drawing at least like 4 cards. It's crazy.
It's mad.
It's actually so big. And on the subject of Yubel as well, because obviously, like me noticing Shivara's too, got me thinking. And then I thought, hang on a minute, we've got our own Shivara that we can search. I think Grave Squirmer. You only play 2 or 1 of that, so I don't know. I think the Unchained Fiendsmith deck could be very interesting. Shivara's like a hell of a card, but it just, I don't know. We'll see. I'm happy about this coming back though, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And then moving to the limits, so Jerusalem to 1, Shifter to 1, Masterpiece to 1, Circular to 1, Detonator to 1, Bonfire to 1, Brilliant Fusion to 1, Crossout to 1, and Talents to 1. So, I mean, it's a pretty fat list. I mean, Jerusalem to 1 I'm happy with. I wish all of the Bestials were there, but Jerusalem to 1, yeah, I guess that's a pretty good hit, right? Like, it's neat to happen. And Shifter to 1 as well. Like, I'm not happy about that, but I understand why they've done it. But, what do you guys think of this?
I think Shifter to 1 is really, really odd, because it's like the decks that can play D-Shifter will probably continue to play it, but Shifter is one of those cards where it's only really good when you see it at the start of the duel. And if you're top decking a Shifter turn 4, it's like a dead card, right? Because you've probably used other hand traps if you're playing like, I don't know, Flu or like Malice or whatever, or you combo and you've got stuff in your grave anyway. So it's really weird. I think we'll see maybe what happened with Gamma with Shifter, in that it may see a little bit of experimentation, but then it could just fall off the face of the earth. But then you might also just see people just being like, if I draw it, I'll draw it, and if I don't, I don't. But the math does lead me to believe that Shifter is going to be here a lot less, so I'm happy about that. Get fucking shit on, Blue players. So.
In my eyes, that's just Shifter's just been banned, in it, but without actually being banned. Because like, why would you play a 1-of that you have to see in your opening hand? Like, it's just mathematically, it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? I get it. It's a Saki card. You could sack your way into it, but like, then you could just put other Saki cards in your deck, in it. Probably at more copies, so I think Shifter's banned, to be honest, for all intents and purposes. I do agree with you. Juice Worm is is the main culprit, but I feel like the rest of the bestials could just go. Just a future-proof card design.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's insane, by the way, that Magnamut wasn't banned.
Do you know what's weird? Like, I don't really understand Konami's logic with certain things, but with Magnamut, I actually do kind of understand, because Bestials and the Luba and Despia is a coherent, even if you just look at the Bestial cards alone, they are a coherent enough strategy that I can kind of see just keeping Magnamut. So if you want to play a Bestial control deck with like Bestial Luba and things like that, it's possible. Because you can play 3. So it's like, if I want to Magnamut on my turn 1 with my cards, that's fine. It's just unfair when I do it to opponents. So I can kind of see that, like, why that's still at 1. And also, the problem is, you want to, when Konami's hitting cards like this, I feel like their mentality is they want to lower the card quality enough that if you want to play it, you can, but it's probably a bad decision, like they've done with Shifter. So I feel like Konami's idea is, you can play Bestials, but you're going to have to play the good ones at the lowest quality and play a bunch of the shit ones instead. So that's where I kind of see Konami's mentality with it, and why they haven't taken Magnet down to 0.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I think people still definitely play like the 1 Mag, 1 Juris. In the very least, like dragon-based decks. But this is something I was thinking about with. I suppose we'll talk about Blue Eyes in this respect, because it's the most represented dragon deck. It's like, yeah, you can play Mag because it can search your Beryl or like your Seahorse or your Jet or whatever. But also, like, you could just play Dominus Purge as well. And the meta we're moving into, Dominus Purge is looking like a really, really strong card. And like, while I think it's fine to just play like in a strategy that can play Dominus Purge and is a dragon strategy deck, basically if you play Blue Eyes, I think it's fine to play the 1 Magnamut. But also I think like if you open Mag and end phase search Druids and then get the Druids on board, no matter what deck you're playing, it does feel kind of nuts. But then again, that is just down to variance, to be honest. And then it's I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I do still think Mag and Druids will see play as like a 2-card package. But I'm happy with Druids to 1, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. And then we got. Well, let's talk about Detonator first before we talk about the ones that have gone up. So let's talk about
Detonator and Bonfire. I suppose we can put this in like a nice little little package.
Yeah, and Detonator to 1, I think. So I don't think it changes much in terms of how we play Rise. So a lot of people were like being like, "Oh, Unicorn gets so much stronger and stuff like that," which I don't know, I think it's a bit cope. Like, yeah, it's scary if Unicorn banishes it, but I don't think it changes too much. Like, a lot of times Rise players were cycling the 1 Detonator anyway because of Eclipse Twins, right? So I don't know, like Bonfire to 1. Yeah, what Detonator?
No Eclipse Twins.
Oh, Eclipse Twins, yeah. That card's stupid. That card's stupid. Well, that card's stupid because of Rise.
Yep.
So, but Bonfire to 1. Yeah, this is just replacing the 1 expensive searcher with another. That's what that just looks like to me. To be honest, like
yeah, that was painfully obvious, and it's like, hey, 7th Tachyon, everyone. Bye, Bonfire. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but
calling out for the volcanic mates.
I do agree with kind of like what they've done. So you're playing a bit of a risky game with Detonator, because if you get Metaltronus, it's a GG. It's a long day at the office, as I like to say. Like
he paid do a drive control or something. Like, I don't know what the heck you're doing.
I do think we will notice people moving towards playing that Star Leech card that prevents monsters from being targeted. But people will just learn to. Text will just evolve in it. Like we'll go to like Book of Eclipse or shit like that. I think Detonator to 1's like.
Yeah.
It's given like a Rise Heart, right?
Yeah, kind of. Well, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. It's given. So, I think 2 things. I think with a Rise Heart, when a Rise Heart was taken down to 1, it didn't meaningfully change how people played Kashtira, because 2 things. A Rise Heart was so strong by itself, but then in addition to that, even when you look at kind of what Kashtira is trying to achieve, what changed that was more Diablosis being banned than a Rise Heart going to 1. With Detonator, it doesn't really change much unless you're playing pure Rizal, and even then it doesn't change much. Like, there were pure Rizal lists playing just 1 Detonator. I think what all it really does is it makes variants of Ryzel the same strength. It makes pure a tiny bit weaker, and again, I don't think people lean more into countering metal traders and stuff like that, because it just seems like an inefficient way to build your deck, right? Like where you're banking on going the Star Leech line just to prevent detonate, and then they have Eclipse anyway and you lose. I think you just see more variants. You just see more Fiendsmith Ryzel, you just see more Mathmech Ryzel, which is going to be a thing. I just want you guys to know, because Circular sums itself for free in this level 4. You just see more shit like that coming out, and so that's where I think I see Detonator and kind of the future Ryzel, where we just see a little bit of a weaker Ryzel and more variants that are abusing the fact that they can just go into other boss monsters on top of the Detonator. Like Mitsurugi Ryzel, for example. I don't think that deck meaningfully has changed between now and before.
Oh yeah. I hear rumblings that Mitsurugi could potentially be played as a pure strategy. Like even now, I don't know what kind of support they're going to be getting post Alliance Insight, but Mitsurugi Ryzel was a really cool deck. Again, it was kind of one of those kind of decks where it was like you could only really play a lower amount of non-engine, so you relied more on what you had in your hand. But the thing that made that deck cool was the Mitsurugi cards, not Detonator. Yes. So
yeah. And Mitsurugi got announced, had a bunch of leaks, and the support is really good. It's just not as good as Ryzel cards, but the support is good. So I agree. We're definitely going to see a bunch of Mitsurugi stuff. Okay, we're going to ignore the cards that have gone from 0 by the way, and just look at the ones that have gone down, and we'll come back to them, because I think these two are very relevant to talk about. Crossout and Talents both to 1. I'm so happy about this. I could be happier if Crossout went to 0. I'd be a very, very happy person. But you know what, to 1 is fair enough, and Talents to 1 as well. Yeah. I agree. I think both these cards need to go down. They were becoming a bit ridiculous because of how Yu-Gi-Oh decks are being built nowadays.
Yeah, I've been a big advocate for putting Talents to 1. Like, have it as a Saki 1-up, have it as a Core by the Grave-esque type card. Like, if you've got it, alright, fair enough. But I'm a firm believer of you should not be punished for trying to slow down your opponent, because going first is so OP, and you basically get FTK'd if someone resolves a talent going first on you. It's ridiculous. So I'm happy to see that. But like in contrast, I think it's great going second. So I'm glad it's still something that we can access, if you get what I'm saying. So I think they've done well in that respect. Yeah. And then cross out, that just needs to be crossed out itself. Just again, you shouldn't be punished for trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh, innit?
100%. I think there's a really interesting juxtaposition, because these cards are like very similar, but it's clear that they're powerful in different ways, right? Because Crossout Designator is like, it's only really good going first, right? Like, if you were maining Crossout Designator, it's because your deck had a player that absolutely had to resolve. Like, Duo Drive Searching in Ryzel, going back a few years, Brandon Fusion resolving in Despia and early variants of that, things like that.
Any Malice card resolving,
Yeah, exactly, yeah, Lancia.
Pre-Alliance Insight, guys. Pre-Alliance Insight, you know what I mean?
literally. But Talents is, someone put it to me in a way that really made me think, actually, this going to 1 is not bad, but they said Talents has now just become the rudest card to ever resolve overnight. And just because of how powerful it is now, it being like so sacky, I was like, that is going to feel really, really bad. But I agree with the hit. I think this is going to take the slot of Call by the Grave in main decks, just because it has more utility going first and second. And I think going first, you're going to start to just see people play 1 Crossout, 1 Call by, 1 Talents in the side as your nice little, anti-hand trap package. I don't hate this hit at all. I quite like it. I think there's an argument for both to be banned, to be completely honest.
What I think is interesting is that when you look at a lot of the high-level side decks, a lot of high-level players play 3 Thrust and then 1 of all the going second cards. And so in that respect, Talents hasn't really changed, right? You can still do that. You can still just play the 1 Talents, the 1 Evenly, the 1 Storm, the 1 Duster, and then play 3 Thrust. So going second, actually, I'd say the card hasn't lost that much power. In fact, I don't know about other guys, but me personally, when I'm going second, I rarely play more than 1 copy of the same going second card, because going second, and Pac made a video about this, it's so important that your interruptions and your hand traps are distinct. You don't want to draw like when you open a card of, this is off topic, but when you open like 5 cards going second, 6 cards going second, if 2 of them are Lightning Storm, that sucks, right? You want one to be Lightning Storm, one to be something else. So, if anything, going second, I think this card hasn't lost power, which is quite good.
Not at all.
Cross out stuff nerf to Goatee as well, which was clearly like the best deck. That must be why they hit it. But talking about the ones that have come up, then, so we had Masterpiece and Mathmech Circular. So look, I'm very, very happy about both of these things. Look, True Draco is still shit. I have played it a lot today.
So true.
But it has it is still just nice to have a Masterpiece on board. Like sometimes you will put a Masterpiece on board and your opponent just kind of is screwed because you sent like a trap and a monster and they don't have anything in the deck. So it is nice to play that card. I'm quite happy for it to be back. And Apophis cards go well with True Draco as well. So it's like when you kind of have all of those together. It's going
to feel really bad when you summon Masterpiece and your opponent Metal Tronuses into a Blue Eyes White Dragon for it.
Yes, yes it is. Well, it is going to be quite sad, but you can't win them all. It's such a shame you can't tribute 3. You can play the one that lets you tribute 3, but then you're playing that one, which is just terrible. So I mean, but it's nice.
Masterpiece is a cool card. It's a card that's really nostalgic for me because it was the big bad when I started playing.
Yes.
And look, True Draco's power wasn't in Masterpiece. True Draco's power was in playing a million Floodgates.
And Diagram.
And Diagram, of course. Diagram's still at 1, Card Demise is still at 1. Look, Draco's doing fuck all. Let's be realistic.
Yeah. I mean,
if you want to buy a True Draco core, though, hit me up. I've had one kicking around forever.
And then Mathmech. Do you know what's so interesting about Circular? Circular going to 1 has absolutely changed Cyber Stacks again forever. It's like if Electromite goes to 1. Like when Circular doesn't exist, you can play other Cyber shit. When Circular is at 1, you better fucking play Circular in your Cyber Stack. I don't care what. The only Cyber Stack that maybe has an excuse not to is Salamangreat, and I don't think that's even true because Promethean Princess is now a thing, and Circular is 1 card Promethean Princess. So you just better play Circular, no matter what. Did you know Circular protects you from Nib? When you resolve Circular, if your opponent nibs you, the card comes out of the extra monster zone, you activate Circular, you're back in the game. Circular's a fantastic card. So I just want you guys to know, Circular's such a wonderful card. Even at 1, it's crazy, and I'm very happy it's back. I've been playing it so much all today, just doing all sorts of shit with it, and it's just a really nice feeling, to resolve Circular, where it's you activate in hand, they're like, Ash, you can't Ash that, mate. It's cost. Send your deck for cost. Yeah, so I've been having a great time. Sorry, I'm done now. But I still love Risk Ace, by the way. I'm not cheating on Risk Ace. I just like Circular as well. But,
Circular's out here masquerading like Prince Neptumus, doing all the things. Now, I'm happy to see it back. Mathmech is probably one of my favorite decks as well, just because I just like the fact that the games are over really quickly. You just do or die. Going second, there's just a clear game plan. I'm going to make access code and attack you for game. Can you stop this?
Yeah.
It's a no from me.
I can only even attack you once. I'm only attacking you with 1 monster. It even says that straight on Circular, so you know from day 1. That's the only plan.
That's what I'm saying.
Anytime anyone brings up Circular, I will never forget the first time I read Mathmech Circular when me and Jake were testing Runic Sprite, and we had 5 negates and 3 hand traps. And we ate through every interruption, and then he resolved Circular, and we lost. If that doesn't tell you, I don't know what will. This card's fucking insane.
Oh my gosh, this card, absolutely hilarious. I'm so happy it's back to 1 And the nice thing as well is, even though I know this is mainly for Malice, they're not doing it for anyone else. They're doing it for Malice because this is, again, you're going to be playing Silent Mining probably in Malice, so why not just chuck 1 Circular and 1 Sigma in it? Again, it helps you play around Nib sometimes. But it's nice to have that card back, and it looks cool. So yeah, Circular to 1 is lovely. And then Brilliant Fusion came to 1 as well. Do any decks care about having a random normal summon anymore? Is that a thing? Is any decks gonna?
Not with Duke of Demise. I think it's just because the support's coming out soon. And it has to be that.
Oh, Gemini.
Yeah. It has to be that. Why else? Because you're gonna go all that way out of your way just to get a normal summon. I think that's it's not.
I'm really trying to think who does this benefit? But I didn't realize Gemini was getting support. To be fair, so okay, that's nice for them, I guess.
Yeah, it's in the next Battles of Legend, I want to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess for the three Gem Knight players, yes, you guys are eating good. Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
can sit in your Mini Cooper and eat good. But
One thing I
for
do
the
think is really funny about Brilliant Fusion coming back, just before we get into the
yeah,
bans,
yeah,
is all the decks that care about like having a second normal summon now have a way to just get a normal summon anyway, with like
Pro
Duke of
Lich,
Demise and other support that's come out. So
yeah,
it's just kind of funny to me.
it
Like,
just doesn't do anything anymore. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, if you really want, you can play 3 bricks just to get an extra. What was it, 2 bricks or 3 bricks to get an extra normal summon? This is, guys. By the way, this people watching. This is again one of the origins of the word garnet is literally this card. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, when we talk about bricking your deck, this card is really really key to recognizing what a brick is. But when we go to the newly forbidden cards, so we had Griffin, Dakota, Dweller, and Bahamut Shark. So I'm happy with all of these. There's two or three cards that I think I would have been happy to see on this.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Griffin is a Malice hit. Dakota is a Malice hit, and I'd say Dakota's probably the biggest Malice hit
Yeah.
of all of them. And then Dweller and Bahamut Shark are both Ryzel and Mermail hits, and just generic. Let's make Dragon Rulers and Orcas not dead on arrival. But what do we think about these hits, guys?
I think Griffin going is really good because Griffin has only ever been a thing for degenerate stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Link Decoder, I don't know enough about Malice to weigh in on, but I'm sure that Jimothy and Fabs will be able to key you in on all of the Cyberse lore here. Dweller, I've wanted Dweller banned for God knows how long. I'm just happy to finally see it. Like, just rest in peace. Bahamut Shark, it's just a mermail hit in it. Like, let's be realistic. No one's playing bubble Beat or like anything. Well, yeah, and a Ryzel hit as well. Masquerading as a mermail hit, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toad's just insane. But I like that they didn't ban Toad. Like, it's not often that I say this, but Bahamut Shark was actually the problem, not Toad, just because of how easy it was to get out. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with these bans. Let's go into Link Decoder though. Jimothy, you have the floor.
To be fair, Link Decoder makes a big difference to extension in Malice. It was just a free body for no reason whatsoever. It was like it's Dotscaper at home but better, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it just does a lot more. It was ridiculous how accessible it made going into your combo. So it's going to be a big loss. But like obviously what Fab said earlier, it's been replaced by like Ignista cards. So for me, it's not even that much of a bigger concern. It's just that this was coming straight out of the extra deck, which is always going to be a problem because it's always accessible. Hot take here. I don't know if Griffin really needed to get banned just for Malice's sins. Yes, I do agree it's never been used for anything good or conducive. But the Griffin play objectively is not the most optimal, to be honest. Like you could just play into a heavier nib and not have as much follow up, quote unquote, depending on how you've done your combo. But I agree, it needed to get checked. Malice is one of the best decks, so it had to get checked. But I don't think it was as essential as Link Decoder. Like if you ask a Malice player what they would prefer back, they'd say Link Decoder over Griffin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So,
I think it's similar to how Fiendsmith Ubel and Ubel pre Fiendsmith was playing Nightmare Griffin, because there were lines that you could do in that, which were fine, but it didn't contribute to the deck's game plan. It was sort of like, okay, I can do something unfair. So I look at this in the same way as that I look at the Hot Red King Calamity hit. Just seems like a quality of life hit more than anything to the game.
I agree.
And I think Bahamut as well. Bahamut reminds me a little bit of Frost. So if you see somebody set a infinite impermanence off Frost, like you're just like, okay, whatever. If you see them set a D barrier, like, nah, this is busted. So I think it's a symptom of Toad, and I think Toad's the biggest problem, because if you're Bahamut sharking into a Lavirtue Dragon, nobody's really going to complain. And I think that play's now gone. To all those shark players out there, that play is now gone, and realistically Toad is the problem. But they must have some forward thinking ideas as to why they've kept Toad over Bahamut, because I don't know, in Ryzel you probably would just make a Lavirtue Dragon for a couple of pops, but then is that a little bit too much with Detonator Pop and everything as well? So I get it. It's more for the sins of other decks instead of the deck that it's probably designed for, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think it does always feel bad when you have a deck that is clearly designed for an archetype, in this case Sharks, that does just get abused, like just because it can happen to do something that's just, broken. So I do feel for all the Shark players out there, because Shark was like a legitimately interesting rogue budget kind of pick. But unfortunately, this is just the state of the game. I imagine Shark players are feeling a lot how ABC players felt when Assault Core went to 1 for all of about 3 weeks. So, hold strong, my brothers.
I'm happy with it, and I actually like Shark, and even as a Shark player, I'm happy about this, because my problem with Bahamut Shark is that it competed with Stealth Kraken. When you're playing Sharks, there was never a good reason to make Stealth Kraken, even though that card is cool and actually a really good card, because you're literally competing with Toad. It's like, why would I ever make this instead of this? Now there's actually design space to make my Shark cards, like to make Nash Knight, to make Stealth Kraken, to make all of these other things. And so I'm actually fine with the Bahamut Shark going, because when you have both of these cards, essentially, if you're going to make a rank 4 in a water deck, it has to compete with these two cards. And there's nothing that can compete with a negate that also adds a card back and steals the opponent's card, or something that locks off your opponent's graveyard. There's what competes with that? Like Stealth Kraken is an obscenely good card. Did you know Stealth Kraken easily beats Rizal, because you summon Stealth Kraken, and then Detonator goes, oh, I'm going to pop you. Stealth Kraken goes, safe, I'm going to pop you back. Then Stealth Kraken pops, it brings 2 cards back. And then they try and pop the Rizal, and the Rizal goes, oh, I'm going to pop you back. And they go, safe, I'm going to bring Stealth Kraken back. Like, Stealth Kraken is a great card. It does a lot of things.
Yeah.
But why am I ever making that over Bahamut Shark or Abyss Dweller? So I'm actually really happy about these, even as somebody like Sharks. And Griffin, fuck off Griffin. There's nothing positive about that card. Yeah, like I also agree that it's if you're making Griffin and Malice, you've already won.
Yeah.
But the card just needs to piss off, man. The only decks that make it just make it in an annoying way, like Live Twins and shit. So card in the game, man. Card can piss off. It's true.
I do agree with you about the Shark stuff, though. Especially Stealth Kraken. Because it's heavily overlooked, and it kind of floodgates out the Fiendsmith portion of the deck, because it turns everything to water. So it does open up the design space to play some more of those niche cards. Maybe the Armored Xyz engine can see a little bit more play, because it's not getting it. You kind of have to filter your way into it instead of just going for Toad. So yeah.
Well, this is the
Dweller
thing, isn't it?
Dweller needs to bounce. I'll tell you straight. Dweller was annoying.
Well, this is the thing, in it. My knowledge of Sharks before the new Sport came out was it was just 3-Toad Turbo.
Well, yeah.
There's no board Shark mix that's better than just spamming Bahamut Shark, genuinely. So
Dweller. Yeah, just if you can find me someone who's sad that this is gone, I'll show you an individual who could do with some help.
yeah. So but okay. So what we'll do is, guys, let's all go around and let's say 2 things we would have wanted to see on this list in addition to what's already here. So it can be either things that you want it to be unlimited or things that you want it to be here.
I was gonna propose something similar but a little bit different.
The
one I was gonna do was pick 1 card to go on each section of the list.
Yeah, why not? So should we start with bands?
Yeah, we'll start with bands.
Okay, so do you want to go first, Dan?
Yeah, my pick is so easy. Rise Cross would have been on here.
That was going to be mine. I need to pick another one. Yeah, that card.
That card's just so unfair. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if it's in the episode that we didn't put out where you mentioned this, Fabs, but because the only decks that should have a card that can negate a resolution is decks that need that in order to survive. Rise does not need that to survive. Put 2 back, draw 1, whatever. Negate a resolution. Out of it, man.
What are you thinking, Fabs? I'm just gonna put it out there. Say Moulin Glacier. That's just dumb. I don't know how that. Whoever was on work experience and passed that and said it was fine, they need some support, because that card's stupid. I'll be honest. That needed to be banned. That needed to be banned yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? It's not in the meta right now, but Featherstorm. That needs to
Yeah,
come down.
that's a very valid hit.
Card famous needs to be out of the game. Right, to 1. So what needs to go, either come up to 1 or go down to 1? This one already have. This card should have been here already.
I'm gonna just go out on a whim and say Electromite.
Ah! That's exactly it. That's exactly. I was gonna say that. What the heck? That's why. Jerome trolled us because he's like, "Oh, the cards in Quarter Century Stampede," and like all of us Pendulum players secretly like did like a fist bump in our hearts, like Electromite's coming back, and then it wasn't flipping Electromite. But yeah. Okay,
did you see the guy who was like, "Oh, because the announcer's wearing a red suit on the Saturday and a blue suit on the Sunday, it's like subliminal message, or like it's a Sonic."
With the lights as well. It was like a red and a blue and a green light, and it's like Electromite is red, blue, and green. Anyway, I'll say no. That's already a thing. That's already at 1. And Dan, you got the need to think on that one.
Yeah, mine would I was going to say X, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm like a super big Rising hater. I am, but that's not the point. I think I probably would have bought. You know what? I'm going to say it. I probably would have bought back Dryden.
Ooh. Spicy.
And my only reasoning for this is, why is Dryden banned when Detonator is still around?
Good point.
Maybe it's that they can't coexist. I don't know. But yeah, I think Dryden could have come back.
Okay, this is really controversial, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a 2-in-1. I would have said Snake Eye Ash to 0. Original Simple Swells back to 1.
Here we go. You know what? Don't
know where this is going.
Look, I'm just saying, OSS back to 1 would support a lot of people. I think a lot of people would be really, really happy about this. So, yeah, that's me.
I love the spin.
Right. Okay. So going to semi-limited. What do we think?
This is such a weird list to pick for.
Again, I'm gonna go out on a whim, and this is with an air of caution. I'm gonna say Miscellaneousaurus.
Ooh,
that one I can't agree with. I don't like that card. I do not like that card. Oh, that card. Bro,
it's tough.
That card upset me. Yeah.
Just to see what Dinos can do again.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see what Dinos does, man. That card.
Out of curiosity, do you think that Misk is more unfair than Rising or Cross? Because they kind of do similar things, right?
Yes.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, Rise. No, no, they don't. You look. Just the answer to this question is: if you had a choice in your deck, which one would you play at 3? Misk or Rise or Cross? Yeah, Misk literally starts a combo on top of saying your opponent doesn't get to interact now. And the thing is, that's already broken if it wasn't a quick effect. But it's a quick effect too. So your opponent gets to play into talents. And then you go, hey, have you read Misk? And you play Engrave. And then they lose. So 100% no. I don't think they're even clearly on the... No. Misk, that card... I hate that card, bro. I hate that card so much.
I've just got Miscellaneousaurus rattling in, man.
Oh my gosh, that card. Oh, that card is wild. It
is an insane card. You know that card's like fucking like 7 years old, like 8 years old. How mental is that?
It is old, and it's still one of like, I would say it's like a top. No, yeah, I would say it's possibly a top 10 card in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Like it is
because
it. Yeah,
the design that on a night out in it. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah,
straight up. There's no way that the sat down and thought about that. It's basically it's a quick effect Sangan summoning.
Yeah.
It's
summoning. It's the field spell and the quick play.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that card is crazy. So yeah, that's me, Miska.
I think like I'm gonna do a bit of what Fabs did here. I'm gonna do if this hit would happen, I would want another hit to happen as well. I would have probably put Engraver to 2 and some sort of other hit to Fiendsmith that made it where playing 2 Engraver mattered. Like maybe like a Moon Ban or like a Requiem ban or tract limit or something like that. Some sort of check to Fiendsmith, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Fiendsmith needs a bit of a slap in the face.
Yeah, because that's something that I wanted to go into once we'd done this section, like because a lot of people have talked about why Fiendsmith didn't get hit, but I feel like something along those lines I would do.
Yeah.
What was your semi-limit pick, perhaps?
Maybe I would have taken thrust downs too, as well.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, just a little bit of a love tap on it. It's a bit too good. Actually, no. Never mind. I would have taken draw downs too. I would have taken draw downs to 0, to be honest. But let's say just some sort of fit to draw. I think the card's really unfair.
Yeah. Again, can't argue Droll is unfair, but I do think if you have to play Droll, the format's in a weird place. So I don't know, but I don't disagree with the mentality behind it.
Yeah. And then up to 3, what would be completely free? And I'll help you guys. Obviously, like you wouldn't say Mathmech Circular clearly because it's just. I mean, I know we're all thinking that, so don't worry, guys. You don't have to say Mathmech Circular.
I'm going to say Miscellaneousaurus.
Konami, don't hire these guys. Don't hire these guys. Yeah. I won't co-sign this. Yeah.
No, I'm not. I think to 3, Lightning Storm.
Okay.
Like Lightning Storm doesn't need to be at 2 anymore. I don't think.
No.
It's kind of like
I don't even know why they did that. It's such a weird hit because then they never touched it again.
Yeah, it was just like we've done this now. Okay.
Yeah. Lightning Storm.
The 2 don't make sense in it, but yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like a weird place to yeah.
Maybe they just wanted people to play Harpies. Feather Duster, that
Maybe,
is not the archetype.
So you're like, yeah, that could be it, I guess. Yeah. What about you, Jimothy? Where are you sitting on this one?
I'm still thinking, I'm racking my brain. Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
So I have one kind of tentative idea for this, but I don't know how. So essentially, like I wouldn't have taken a baby dragons to 1. I would have just put them all the way up here, but I want to think of an organic one that isn't already on the list. So like baby dragons is kind of an answer. Outside of that, no, I have a good one. Card of Demise. Yeah, bring that up to 3.
With the masterpiece on ban as well.
Yes, I think that would have been nice. If you're not going to give us diagram, give us flipping Card of Demise.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking diagram. Leave Card of Demise where it is, but just put diagram.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, what decks other than Runic maybe? Are there any decks that would abuse Demise right now?
There's got to be some sort of thing you can do with the Odeon cards that would play Card of Demise if it was at 3.
I don't think so because the Odeon cards special summon themselves.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and I think that True Draco, because Floodgates, other than the Monarch cards, Floodgates don't really exist in the same way as before.
Flea would play it?
Nah, Flea wouldn't play Card of Demise. That'd be horrible. One of the things that make Flea so good is that their cards are either banished or in their hand. You do not want your cards in the graveyard. Imagine you draw a bunch of birds, and then at the end phase, after you add all the birds to your hand, they go into the grave, and I guess you can leave them up in the universe. Like when you end your turn.
No, it's fine because you're a Flea player. Like you draw Shifter, you activate Shifter, obvious.
Clearly.
Like you got Card of Demise, you draw into 3 Feather Storm, you set them. Fine.
Oh, okay, clearly, yeah. But I can't think of a deck that would actually I can think of one deck that like might use it, which is like if you're playing like stun and stuff. But even stun,
Eldritch would probably play it, I guess.
No, again, especially with the new Eldritch support, you definitely wouldn't play it.
Nah,
with the new Eldritch support and the field spell.
Stun would abuse it. There's a stun player playing some Horus variant stun at the locals that I go to, and the consistency with MSETI that he's seeing these floodgates is just on another level. Like
so he's playing Horus with Card of Demise.
No, but like if he was at 3, like he's already seen the skill drains, the goals and matches, his T-Kaboo. Well, obviously they're all at 1, but he's got them all in his deck.
He's playing them all,
and he's just seen them. It's just
guys like the Thanos and floodgates.
Yeah, it was just horrible. Yeah. So like then topping a card of demise on top of that, just nah.
Do you know the other reason why I don't think, though, and now that I think about that, I don't think some players will actually play demise? Because the Morganite cards exist. And even though the Morganites are different, like I feel like if I had a choice between playing Morganite or playing demise, I'd pretty much always play Morganite because I'm probably going to survive turn 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that.
Really? You play demise?
But
Because
I'd
as a stun player,
I'd play them together.
I'd play them together. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think I want to dedicate that many spots to drawing cards. Right, like
so.
I only ever really want to dedicate 3, at most 4.
Yeah.
But
Ooh,
really, yeah.
I thought of a better hit. Sorry, just talking about
Yeah.
card demise. I'm thinking I want to put Sekka's Light to 3.
Is that not at 3?
No.
Nope.
Oh my god, bro! Look, again, Sekka's Light can be at 20. I do not care. Please play as many Sekka's Lights in your deck as you want. I don't care. You'll be shocked. Like that card is so bad. Like it's so unbelievably bad in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh that I am fine with people playing Sekka's Light at 3. So yes, yeah. Please bring that card back. Oh my gosh, that'd be lovely to play against. Like, oh, you use Sekka's Light? I can't get Talents, I can't get Thrusted, I can't get Stormed, I can't get Inburned. Oh my gosh, this is lovely. So yeah, that card definitely needs to be back at 3.
So you've all heard our wild and wonderful ban list wish lists. So
Yes.
before we close out the show, there are a couple on. One of the things that I've really seen people be really confused about is why Fiendsmith get hit. Because now Fiendsmith is just going to be the best engine for another format. What do you guys think it hasn't been hit?
There's a song called by Cardi B. It's called Money.
You reckon that's the sole reason?
I'm so sure Konami had like girls twerking in the background when they were making the list, and they had money. 100% sure. That's exactly what they were doing during the making of the list. So that would be my reasoning. Why they didn't hit Fiendsmith.
Yeah, it's so painfully obvious, and I think that this could sense the community sentiment around the ban list. So there's thought, you know what, let's push out a ban list now, but we'll leave the Fiendsmith cards because Stampede's around the corner. We're trying to maximize profits. The start of the financial year. Let's start off on a high note. And sell everybody the cards that they haven't been able to play for the last few months. So that has to be the reason. Like, how long has it felt like Fiendsmith's out? It ran a YCS. Like, I'm sure it was employed at one point. It was doing coverage. So yeah, it just has to be that.
Yeah, that is the only reason I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no balance reason. Because, like, even though Fiendsmith may be slightly less represented, as a fundamental kind of principle, these cards are following the same trend of the cards that caused the Banlist to be created in the first place, where it's like you can just splash it on everything. Whereas, like, any deck below a certain tier, it just becomes, are you playing Fiendsmith? You probably should be, because if there's this joke someone's making about MBT's new 10-minute testing or whatever, where it's like, it's literally like, what rogue deck am I going to slap Fiendsmith in now? Because that's literally it. Play a rogue deck, then just put Fiendsmith in it, otherwise you're wasting your time. So, yeah. I don't think there's any balanced reason why those cards should stay. And also, they literally just hit all the shit that affects the graveyard. So that's the
so if anything, Fiendsmith is now better.
Yeah, like, get your money's worth. Though someone said that someone had some propaganda that Konami's secretly trying to make Blue Eyes win Worlds again, which gave me a good laugh.
That's not propaganda, bro. That's just a fact.
I can't lie, it would be quite funny if it does somehow manage to win Worlds.
Another brick mirror. Let's go.
Yeah.
Can't wait for both players to draw Mausoleum and True Light in the final.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens with that one. But
yeah. The final thing I wanted to talk about on the subject of ban lists. I don't know who needs to hear this. Don't buy cards at inflated prices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because while Engraver, like specifically to I think the Fiendsmith engine is a really good example of this. Yeah. Obviously, Engraver has been reprinted in Rarity Stampede, whatever you want to call it. Is the only card worth any money that has been reprinted. Tracked have been going for, like, at the time of recording, they ballooned at 60 and now they're settling at like 45, 50. Lacrima's gone up from a £10 secret to a £40 secret. Like, even like Requiem, that's another one that's gone up to about £17. Like, listen, guys, these cards will go down in price.
Yes, they will.
Don't be if you've got the money, but it's burning a hole in your pocket. Like, crack on it. More power to you if you're not going to burn. But this, actually, you know what? This is financial advice, because you shouldn't be spending like £100 on a playset of tracks when you could wait even like 48 hours and probably get it for like 70% of the price.
If you would like to buy some tracks at £50, I have some I can sell you. Feel free to buy them off me. I also have a bridge to sell you as well. I have so much to sell you if that's the kind of financial decisions you want to make. I'm not like Dan. I will encourage your poor financial decisions. Yes, I believe in full autonomy, and you should have freedom to make whatever silly decisions with your money that you want.
I've just got a lot of tartan paint to shift. Some bubbles at spirit level.
So much, so feel free if you want to. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Right, should we close out the show then? Our Banlist special.
Yeah, a Banlist special. It's been good to be back, boys, and I think it's time that we address: are we coming back? Because it's been a quiet period due to many reasons, and the people are calling for it. And by the people, I mean the listeners who do listen. We're very grateful for all of you.
Yeah.
Can we expect more episodes?
Yes. I would say yes. We can definitely expect more episodes. I'll say for me, personal circumstances slowed me down, but then also I moved into a new house and my internet was absolutely shoddy. But as of tomorrow, I'm getting fantastic internet. I have OpenReach coming to my door. I'm going to be installing a line, and look, guys, you don't know what the pain is of having 6 down and 0.2 up. It sucks. It really, really sucks. And so I'm going to have fiber from like tomorrow, probably like Wednesday, because it'll probably take a while to connect up. But yes, I will be. I definitely will be more present. Even my channel is almost certainly coming back as well. So yeah,
let's go. Because I think I mean, I don't know about you guys. I've had a couple of people asking who's going to come back, and I'm not going to go on like with fucking drama alert or whatever. But there's just been a myriad of reasons for all of us why the podcast took a little bit of a break. But back now to our regularly scheduled programming, and in the interim, Jimothy's hit 1,000 subscribers. So huge congratulations, big up. Go and subscribe to Jimothy if you're not already. I don't know why you're not. If you listen to this, you should be.
Yes, the legend.
Big up.
Thank you, appreciate it, and come into a household near you.
Let's go.
Yes. Let's go. Right, so thank you all for watching. We will catch you in a bit. Peace.